Good day, JSS2 students. I want to welcome you all to another civic online class. And the topic for today is citizenship education. So, what is citizenship education? Now, before we go into the definition, let's try to understand the meaning of citizenship. We all know that in the word citizenship we can find citizen. And a citizen, who is a citizen? A citizen is a member of a given society or nation, either by birth, naturalization, or registration, which is also called marriage. A citizen is a legal member of a given country who is recognized by law. So, what is the meaning of citizenship? Citizenship is the status of being a legal member of a country. It can also be defined as a process or processes, ways of becoming a member of a given desired country. Now, as we all understand the meaning of citizen, then also the meaning of citizenship, so let's talk about citizenship education. Now, citizenship education is the education that brightens the minds or mind of the students towards their society's political, social, institutions, values, and as well as their rights, duties, and obligations as citizens of a particular country. Now, citizenship, I'll define the definition again. Now, I'll define citizenship education again. Now, citizenship education is the education that brightens the mind of students towards their country's political, social institutions, values, and their rights, duties, and obligations as a citizen of a country. Now, I want to inform you that citizenship education is the same as civic education. So, understanding the meaning of citizenship education. So, with citizenship education, someone tends to understand various institutions in our society. Now, our political institutions, such as the legislature, the Senate, the House of Representatives, and as well as some other social institutions like the police, the some associations, and etc. Now, all these institutions helps to ensure our progress in society. Now, why the values? The values of our society, of our country, are like the laws, our political culture, our social culture, justice. Justice is part of values we uphold. Unity, peace, human rights. All these are values now, etc., in our given society. Now, these are what citizenship education will teach us, and the purpose of citizenship education is to ensure that a citizen is responsible in the future. Now, knowing how the society is being run, knowing how society is being governed, knowing how to interact with people in a given society. Now, let's go to a subtopic, and the subtopic is the ways, or rather, we can say in another way, like how do we become, or how do you become a citizen, or how can one become a citizen, or methods of acquiring citizenship. Now, these questions are all the same. Now, we have three main methods of how to acquire citizenship in our e-note. Now, the number one we have is by birth. Now, citizenship by birth is the most occurring one, which means that what naturally, wherever where you were given birth to, you are a citizen of such a country, of such country. Now, a person given birth to in a country, now being given birth to, he or she is a citizen of the country, recognized by law. Because the law of Nigeria recognizes anybody that is given birth to in a country as a legal member of Nigeria. Now, number two on our list is citizenship by registration or by marriage. Now, citizenship by registration or by marriage, or we call it citizenship by marriage. Now, it is the method whereby which a person acquires citizenship through marrying someone of another territory. Now, a person of like Nigeria who marries a Ghanaian, now through registry, through the law court or court wedding, then it means that what automatically by law the Ghanaian spouse can claim Nigerian, and the Nigerian spouse can also claim what Ghanaian as his nationality. Now, that is citizenship by registration or by marriage. Now, the third one on our e-note is citizenship by naturalization. Now, this is another form in which one could hold the green passport of another country. Now, citizenship by naturalization is the process where a person is qualifies all the requirements given by the country. Now, some of the requirements are the residential requirement, which means you staying in a particular country for a particular years. Now, some countries are 4 years, 8 years, 10 years, 15 years. Now when you have qualified for residential qualification, then there's other qualifications as well, like payment of tax, now, and as well as what legal status, ensuring that what you have not been involved in any criminal activities. Now, with that, now when you apply, then the agency involved will see to it, and after some months, then they will approve your citizenship application. So that is citizenship by naturalization. Roles of citizenship education. Now, citizenship is very important. Citizenship education is very important because it teaches us how we behave in our society. And number one, now, citizenship education helps to teach a citizen to respect the rules and regulations of the country. Now, we said earlier before that in citizenship education, it teaches students about the country's institution, the country's values, and as well as what the citizens' duties. Now, number one duty of a citizen expected of him by his country is to obey the law of the land. Now, civic education will teach a student or a citizen how to obey and the importance of obeying the law of the land. Now, another role of civic education is that what it teaches the citizen to be always watchful, and to watch public properties, because public properties are our properties. Now, understanding this, a citizen will be a good citizen in the society. Number three, it teaches citizens that our right to vote and to be voted for is paramount, and this makes a joyful democratic society. And number 4, citizenship education enlightens the student on the various political and social institutions that are existing in a given society. These institutions have unique and different duties. Now, in the case of the political institutions, we have the government as a main political institution, and the government is mainly divided into 3. Now, civic education will teach us that what the government is divided into 3. Now, we have the executive institutions, we have the legislative institutions, and we have the judicial institutions. Now, the executive institutions are the institutions that carry out policies and enforce law and obedience. Now, example of executive institutions are the police, the ministries, the public corporations, the agencies, etc. While the legislative institutions, we have the main legislative institutions. Now they are the Senate, House of Senate, House of Representatives, and we also have what each state having its own House of Assemblies. Now these institutions are very important because they make laws that guide our activities. While the judicial institutions, these institutions are the court of law. These court of law help to protect our rights. They settle disputes. It tends to interpret the laws in the constitution into individual cases. Now, the idea of all these institutions makes a citizen to understand more about his or her society. Now, we will be discussing how should roles of citizenship education be carried out. Now, citizenship education roles should be carried out in a special way. Now, number 1, students should educate others about the necessity of knowing our legal status now and our legal rights, as well as our duties. Most students or citizens of Nigeria don't know their rights or their duties in their community, and this is very bad. Now, number 2 is that we should try our best not to violate others' rights. Yes. Now, let's show good example of how to be a good citizen and how to interact in our society. Now, number 3 role of a good citizen and of citizenship education, how it should be carried out in our society, is study and research more on citizenship rights, obligations, and laws concerning them, in order to be properly equipped with legal knowledge on your rights. Now, why number 4 is that in case of any issues or disagreements, seek a legal advice, a lawyer, before taking any step or actions. Now, with this, people will follow your steps and you are promoting more of citizenship education. Now, thank you so much. Have a wonderful day.